Hello, and welcome to the Knights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is video 34, covering scene 29. Last time, Maria rejoined us and fought alongside us as we killed more monsters in the castle. Afterwards, we pressed onward and stormed into Caporn's sanctum, which is the private quarters of Cardinal Capehorn himself. Here we are, face to face with the Cardinal. There's going to be quite a battle up ahead. I'm going to do something a little different in this video and take the time to hopefully really explain the fight coming up ahead. The reason why is because Caporn's got some dirty tricks up his sleeve, and you really benefit from coming into this fight with knowledge of what he's going to do. There are some new mechanics in this stage that we've not seen before. If you're not interested in this and you want to skip straight to the fight, then go ahead and jump to the time on your screen right now. Otherwise, let's check it out. Alright, here we are in Caporn's sanctum, and Caporn himself is trapped like a rat. This is going to be a tough fight. The first thing you may have noticed is that there's no knights to recruit this time. That's unusual. In fact, now that I think about it, this might be the first time that's happened. So, okay, at least there's no key items for knights that we have to worry about. However, we do have 2 empty spots where we can put any knights we choose, and we're going to have to use those to the full effect. Of course, down in the corner, there's Maria. Hey, there she is. I like Maria, and I'm glad she's here with us. However, I'm not going to be using her. Unfortunately, I feel she's overpowered, and I'd rather just play without her for now. So, thanks for being here, Maria, but you're going to be on the bench this round. We have one NPC on the field, Carlette. We have her key item, so we'll have to deliver it to her at some point. And of course, in the back, there he is, Caporn himself, trapped like a rat. Let's take a look at his profile and his moves. So once again, an awesome portrait. I like how they used gold to be his defining color. Kind of an interesting choice. At any rate, when viewing his profile, if we press on the D-pad, we can get his moves, and we're going to go through them really quick. Move 1, Vandalize. Time, minus 12 seconds if I'm hit with it. And it's a giant magic circle covering the screen. And trust me, you'll know that one when you see it. Move number 2, Malediction. Time is minus 6.5 seconds if I'm hit by it. A spreading circle of curses. And that is certainly the move he uses the most in this fight. Quite annoying and dangerous, but we'll deal with it. However, the yellow text, notice, casts incantations. That is his bread and butter. That is the main thing that's going to keep me worried while we do this fight. What's going to happen is, if he chooses to cast an incantation, he'll freeze in place, he'll make that very distinct noise that we've heard several times before with bosses, and then there'll be an ellipsis above his head, and so there he is casting his spell. We have a short period in which we can hit him and interrupt him, and if we do that, then he'll cancel his attack. If we don't interrupt him, then he'll get it off, of course. And it's going to be our top priority to keep him shut down, because this attack is a giant pain in the ass. So, let's take a look and see what it does. And if you notice, Caporn's in the corner like a coward. And of course, we begin the round with our knights in the 2 empty slots. So he's quite a bit away from us. And in fact, he's going to start the round casting an incantation, which we have no hope of interrupting. So he's going to get a free one off on us, and there's nothing we can do about it. So what exactly do the incantations do? Well, if you've noticed, there's 3 unique obstacles on the field that we've not seen before. Here I'm touching one, Cursed Contract. This is an interesting object, and it acts a little funny. First off, the type is flooring, you can see. So I don't know if this is literally a piece of paper as a contract or what the story is, but the point is that we can actually travel across it. It's not an obstacle in our way, so we can stand right on top of it or we can pass right through it. It doesn't matter. So thank goodness for that. That's handy. It would really stink if our knights were trapped behind those things and had to destroy them before they could get out. Moving on though, underneath the type where it says flooring, there's a tip that says if you leave it, the skeletons ... So this is related to Caporn's incantation that he'll cast. If he's allowed to get it off, and in the first move of the game, yes, he'll be able to get one off. What's going to happen is, there's going to be 3 of these black hole things that spawn on top of these contracts. They wink out fairly quickly, but then in their place, they leave skeletons. So the skeleton enemy that we've seen throughout the course of this game, there's going to be 3 of them that spawn in. And of course they'll be attacking us along with Caporn spamming his attacks as well. So it's going to be our top priority to try and keep that under control. The other thing about these contracts is that if we are able to damage them to the fragile status or destroy them completely, it doesn't take very long for them to respawn or repair themselves. And if you notice, there's some distance between these 3 contracts, so trying to keep them all shut down at once would be quite a task. In fact, it's just not practical. So that means that the best solution is really just to keep Caporn shut down during the fight. And that is going to be our strategy we use. Of course, it's not that simple. There's also some key items we have to worry about. And here they are on the map. There's one contract, the bottom one, that holds a key item, and the 2 candelabras next to Caporn hold key items as well. So we have to not only get up there to confront Caporn, but we also have to get down to that cursed contract and get the key item out of it. To that end, we're going to use both of our Lance Knights. Our permanent Lance Knights, Gudrun in the bottom right, and Alonso in the upper left. They're going to be our MVPs this round. Gudrun's job is going to be to zip over to Caporn as fast as she can, so that if he tries to do an incantation, she can shut him down. Meanwhile, Alonso is going to try and make his way down to that lower contract, so that at the end of the round we can swap in a warrior and destroy it so we can get the key item out and allow it to respawn to see if another key item will come with it. All the while, they're going to be trying to take pot shots on these skeletons that we know are coming, because we have to clear up the screen as fast as possible. Alright, that is our mission, should we choose to accept it. Let's see what happens. Alright, here we go. I'm going to start throwing in our Lance Knights. There's Alonso in the upper left. Gudrun in the bottom right. And I'm going to fill our inventory with Lance Knight weapons. I know that there's 3 skeletons coming, but I don't know what elemental affinity they're going to be. So I'm going to try and hedge my bets and load as many different elemental affinity weapons as I can. Okay, we've got a full load of weapons. We're not going to worry about key item delivery this round. We just got to get our foot in the door.
Engage.
Alright, he has gotten his incantation off. There's the black holes. And they diminish and out pop out the skeletons. Gudrun is now in range of Caporn. Hopefully she can keep him shut down. And there's a passing skeleton that she can attack with the opposite element affinity, so she takes that opportunity. The skeleton is down, but if you remember, the skeleton enemies always require a second hit after they're down. Alright, one skeleton's out of the picture. Alonso's next to a neutral enemy, and he has a lightning spear, so he'll do double damage. I couldn't pass that up. Skeleton is down. Alonso's going to use a movement attack to finish it off. Right, good job, Alonso. He's now in position for a warrior to hit that contract in the corner. And with 3 seconds left in the round, I decide I don't have enough time to kill a skeleton. So instead I'll farm gems. Alright, good job, Knights. We have 2 of the 3 skeletons wiped out, and we have a knight in position that should be able to keep Caporn locked down so he can't do any more incantations. I pull out Alonso and throw in Fritz, one of our permanent warriors, so he can beat on that contract. I go ahead and remove the Lance Knight weapons because Gudrun's going to come out as well, and in her place is coming Johann. Johann will be able to beat on Caporn to keep him shut down, but also beat on those candelabras and get the key items out, hopefully. Since there's a Sanctity skeleton up by Johann, I load up a Darkness weapon. And since we only have warriors on the field, they can both use that axe. So we only need that one weapon for this round. With the open inventory slots, I load up some key items. And we are good for this round.
Engage. I will corrupt your soul. It worked.
Okay, skeleton is down. It still needs one more hit.
Ready. Break out. I will corrupt. It's my turn.
Good job. Skeleton's out. Now Fritz is going to beat up that contract and get the key item out. With that attack, Johann has filled Caporn's rage meter. Duraeus is our permanent archer, one of our permanent archers. And with 4 seconds left, I don't want to risk breaking one of the candelabras and having the key items come out, only to lose the round and then have it despawn. Okay, we're going to go ahead and destroy that bottom contract just to see what happens when it respawns.
Engage. It's my turn, eh? Break out. Fall into the abyss. Ready.
Johann is beating on those candelabras, and Caporn was nice enough to stand in the way. Alright, key items gotten, and Caporn's doing an incantation, so Johann had to abandon his charge and just get a cheap, quick hit off in order to interrupt him. Candelabra's destroyed, now it's just us and Caporn. Alright, this is quite telling. We've heard that name before, Marietta. We'll talk about that more a little later. Caporn tried another incantation, but Johann was too quick. And Caporn began using his rage move at the end of a round. So, sorry, it's gone now. Okay, we can pull out Fritz, he's done his job. We'll put in Alonso so that he can zip up there and help out Johann to defeat Caporn.
Engage! 4 hours attack going all out.
Yeah, nice try, Caporn.
Ready? For our country. Break out. Raise your hand. Strike down my foe. The enemy's hurt. This is it. Go. Leave this to me.
There, I cancel Johan's charge attack. I don't know why I do that all the time.
Break out. I will corrupt your soul. It worked. Ready? Two. It worked.
Okay, the cursed contract is back, but it only holds a weapon, no more key items. It's time to put Caporn to bed.
Engage. Attack going all out. The enemy's hurt. This is it. Going all out.
And Caporn managed to get an incantation off there. So what he has done is spawned one of those black hole things that are going to stay for the rest of the round. If I touch it, it will remove magic points, which is a pretty dirty trick. At least it didn't spawn skeletons this time.
Break out. The enemy's hurt. This is it. Break out. Leave this to me. I will corrupt your soul. It worked. Ready? Break out. I will corrupt. It worked. For our country. Break out. Raise the spectate. Our leader is defeated. We won.
Good job, guys. Here at the inventory screen, I had something I had to take care of. Liz, our permanent priestess, was down to 3.83 vitality. When did that happen? So of course I had to deal with it. I went through the list and found what I thought was a suitable candidate. Rudolph, the Lance Knight that we recruited a few scenes ago, looked like he would be a good match. But we can see from here that Liz stands to gain quite a bit of vitality and a large amount of Law Index with this Transsoul. She will lose a little bit of Chaos Index, but I typically don't use priestesses in Chaos phase anyway, so it wasn't much of a loss to me. So with that, I went through with it. Rudolph seems to have taken it well, and Liz receives his soul. If you notice, her level max was raised to 34, but she was automatically raised to that max, so there's no more room for her to level up again. She will have to get another Transsoul if we want more vitality for her. If we go to the next image, we can see that she gained 12 vitality out of that. That's not bad. Her Law Index went up 6, and her Chaos Index went down by 1. Alright, that's a pretty good Transsoul. I'm happy with that. That leaves her with a final vitality of 15.83, which should keep her going for a little bit longer. Alright, let's move on. And with that, we find ourselves at the next scene. Looks like we're going to be squaring off against Melissa once again, doesn't it? Okay, Melissa, just fuck off. How many times do we have to beat your dumb ass? Alright, whatever. So let's take a moment to look at what we just saw. Caporn, as he lay dying on the floor, said some interesting things. He mentioned Asgard paid no heed to the Tiamat's mournful wails. Well, of course, Asgard is the realm of the gods. So basically what he's saying is the Tiamats, as an ostracized and marginalized race, were pleading for mercy from Asgard and were ignored. He then goes on to say that the Tiamats named him a traitor and exiled him. Well, that's interesting. Where'd that come from? In the flashback, we saw him talking to Yelma in privacy and asking her, "Do you know about the unwritten law?" Yelma, probably for the benefit of us players, says, well, it's just the knowledge about the rule, right? The rule with a capital R, which has been mentioned a couple times in this game already. And it seems to be basically the rule of the gods. Caporn continues saying, what if the unwritten law was actually written down? What would you think then? At first, Yelma doesn't believe him, but he says, it was written down by an ancient arbitrator. Now let's take a look at a previous cutscene we saw between Maria and the Wisp. This was right before we fought Gunther. Now I'm going to slightly change the order of Maria's dialogue here just to make it a little easier to understand for me. But what she said when she was talking to the Wisp was that your ancestor made a grave mistake in this land. Because of his love for all the lives of this world, he willingly revealed truth that was meant to be hidden. As a result of this brave act, his memory was erased. Ever since, all the descendants of his lineage, their knowledge of their duty seems to have been sealed. So the ancestor of the king, who was an arbitrator, of course, wrote down the unwritten law and was punished presumably by the gods. That's why the king had no knowledge of being the arbitrator. Anyway, Caporn continues and says that when this happened, the Tiamats kept the written law down and respected it, and somehow Caporn has come into possession of it. This is, of course, enticing to Yelma, and Caporn uses that to his advantage by saying, "I need a certain being from the underworld summoned." Well, who could that be? Of course, it was Zolganark. Yelma jumps at the chance, says, yes, totally, whatever it takes, just give me this written law, which is a phrase that apparently Caporn coined. We're starting to get more pieces of the puzzle, huh? Somehow Caporn came into possession of this forbidden knowledge, and he shared it with Yelma, in exchange for her to summon Zolganark into this world. Moving on, after killing Caporn, we pressed onward into the Moonlit Sanctuary, and that's where we ran into Melissa once again. Maria said something a little peculiar here. She said, "I will defeat you and become my true self once more." And Melissa agrees and says, "You know what, there's only one choice. One of us has to kill the other." Melissa also mentions that they seem to be going against the rule, so Maria and Melissa in some capacity are flying in the face of the gods. At any rate, weapons are drawn. I have to admit I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that when Maria pulled out the Ancardia that Melissa would just say, "Oh shit." But she didn't do it, didn't happen. That's fine. And here we are. We're about to fight Melissa for the 4th time. Looks like a busy map. There's 4 candelabras, which of course I'm sure have key items inside them, and 2 of those damn gargoyle statues that are going to be shooting at us. Not to mention, of course, Melissa once again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.